So UFC Fight Night, Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer this weekend. I'm going to break down the whole card. Starting off, Alexa Tyrana versus Bruno Brazil. I'm going to go with Alexa Tyrana on this one. I just think, I don't know, I can't trust Bruno Brazil to win a fight ever because every time I pick her, she always loses. But when I don't pick her, then she wins and looks incredible. She's very hit or miss. I do think Bruno Brazil is technically a better fighter, but she does not have the heart to win the fight. If you understand what I'm saying, like every time in a fight, Bruno Brazil looks like the best fighter ever, and then all of a sudden she just stops for some reason. In her last fight, she was looking so good, and then she just stopped. I don't understand it. I guess it's like a mental blockage, or like it's because of takedown threat. I don't understand why every time she looks good, she just stops automatically. Like, I'm very confused on why. Like, I understand the losing, like, the Kong, whatever her name was. But, like, the last girl you fought, like, I understand she's kind of an intimidating Brazilian, but, like, she's nothing that crazy, and you were schooling her, and then you just stopped. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. I'm not gonna pick Bruno Brazil because she's too inconsistent, and I could at least trust Tyrana to at least try to win, you know? So I'm gonna go Tyrana winning a decision victory here. I just think Bruno Brazil's gonna look good early, but then she's gonna stop. So I got Alexa winning a decision victory here. So moving on to the next one. Ricky Simone versus Adrian Yanez. I'm going to go with Ricky Simone on this one. Look, at one point, I would have went with Yanez, especially like a few years back. But like Yanez is very hit or miss. And he's also a little open on the feet, a little too comfortably for me, you know? And Ricky Simone does have pop, and Yanez hasn't really been that active. Like, when was his last fight? 2024? Like, and also, he did lose to Marcos, but that's not a bad loss. And he was looking good in the fight until he kind of stopped in round 2. So, I don't know. I think Yanez could get this done, but I'm gonna go with Ricky Simone because I feel like Yanez does leave himself open even when he tries to get finishes. He is there to be chinned because he does leave himself open for big counters, but at the same time, he is there to get KOs as well. So I don't know. It's very 50-50, and I kind of favor Ricky Simone because of his activity and a little bit more pop. I think he has a little bit more pop. Yanez is a little bit more. It takes a combination to put you out before Yanez gets a KO, you know. So I got Ricky Simone either knocking out Yanez in the first 2 rounds or going to a decision victory here. So moving on to the next one. Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez. I'm going to go with Navajo Sterling on this one. I just think he's a little bit better on the feet. Bruno Lopez doesn't really have anything insane what I've seen of him. Like, I only saw a fight, but at the same time, I know it's just a fight, but he doesn't look crazy at all. He's kind of slow. Nothing really on the feet either. Like, I don't know. I don't rate Bruno Lopez that well. So I don't really rate Navajo Sterling that highly, but I do think he's a little bit better on the feet, a little bit cleaner. I just think it'll take a higher competition to be Navajo Sterling than freaking Bruno Lopez. I got him knocking out Bruno Lopez in the first 2 rounds. I just think Bruno Lopez is a little too plotty and nothing that special. So I don't know though. Navajo Sterling, man, he doesn't have that crazy pop, man, but it's at least decent of the knockout Bruno Lopez. So I got Navajo Sterling knocking out Bruno Lopez in the first 2 rounds. So moving on to the next one. Casey O'Neill versus Gabriela Fernandez. I'm going to go with Fernandez on this one. I changed my mind. I was going to go Casey O'Neill, but it's just, I don't think she's that crazy. I don't get the hype, really. I see everybody picking her. I don't get it. Like, she doesn't look that insane. Like, she looks sloppy on the feet. A little technical, but, like, she doesn't have that much. Like, the way she throws punches, like, I don't like it. Then again, I don't even like Fernandez punches, really, either. I just think she has a little bit of everything, at least. She could grapple some. She has some submissions. Like, she's okay on the feet. It looks strong as well. Like, I'm gonna pick against Casey O'Neill on this one, and she beat Kong, which was kind of a fluke victory, but she got the head kick, so they're actually a sub, but a good win. And she also beat Carly Judice, and I rank that win kind of highly, especially because I think Carly Judice is at least a future contender, and I don't know about contender, but I think she will make the top 15, and she's a really good fighter. I like her a lot, so I'm gonna go with Fernandez winning a decision victory here over Casey O'Neill. Plus, Casey O'Neill is not that very active. Her last fight was in 2024, and she beat Luana Santos. So I'm just saying here. So I'm going to go Fernandez winning a decision victory here. So moving on to the next one. Marcin Tybura versus Tyrell. I'm going to go with Marcin Tybura. No, I'm not. Actually, I'm going to go with Tyrell. Fortune, whatever his name is, I don't really care. He's pretty decent. I am a big Tybura fan, and we will be losing this weekend. I don't know. If it was a few years ago, I would trust Tybura to win, but since he's been looking a little sloppy, not as crisp as he used to, his grappling kind of regressed as well. Like, I remember when we got out the Apex, I don't know, I just messed with Tybura heavily. He's one of my favorite blobs when it comes to the UFC, so it's kind of it's a little bit emotional moment for me. So it's sad for me, but I'm going to go with Tyrell. I just think he's a little bit better of a grappler maybe. And he's also has decent hands. And I just feel like Tybura has regressed and he is 40 years old. We are 40 years old and we are still competing. How good are we? How good are we? And we're going 50-50 on matchups. So I'm just saying Tybura could pull it off, but I don't know. I just feel like he's too old. So I'm going to go Tyrell win a decision victory here. I don't think he will code Tybura, but he might out grapple him and then win a decision victory. So that's pretty much it. Let's move on to the next one. Chase Hooper versus Lance Gibson. I'm going to go with Chase Hooper on this one. I do trust Chase Hooper to win this matchup, mostly because Lance Gibson was getting out-grappled by Bobby Green, pillar to post in every aspect of MMA as well. So for that alone, I'm going to go Chase Hooper to sub Lance Gibson in the first 2 rounds. I understand Chase Hooper is kind of a little frail boy in moments, and anybody with hands would put him out cold, but I do think he's decent enough to beat Lance Gibson. I don't rank Lance Gibson that highly in any aspect of MMA, so I'm going to go Chase Hooper subbing Lance Gibson in the first 2 rounds. So moving on to the next one. Ignacio Bonamondes versus Tafia Musayev. I'm going to go with Ignacio on here. I feel like he's a little bit better of a fighter. Plus, I feel like the length is going to be too much for Musayev, in my opinion. I feel like also Bonamondes has fought better competition as well. Like, I don't know. I can't really see Musayev winning unless he shoots, and I don't think his grappling is that crazy. So that alone, I'm going to go Bonamondes winning a decision victory. Nah, I'm going to go KO in the first 2 rounds. I just feel like the length is going to be too much, and Musayev's going to have struggle trying to come in. So that alone, I'm going to go Bonamondes knocking him out in the first 2 rounds. So moving on to the next one. Terrence McKinney versus Kyle Nelson. I'm going to go with Kyle Nelson on this one. Not very confident because Terrence McKinney could take him out in the first round. I just think he's a little bit more crafty than the individuals Terrence McKinney's been fighting. So I'm going to go Kyle Nelson winning. I think he's going to finish him in the second round because McKinney's cardio is so trash. Like, it's either he finishes you in the first round or he loses pretty much. So yeah, I'm going to go Kyle Nelson finishing Terrence McKinney in the first 2 rounds. I am not that confident though. It's very 50-50 because McKinney could chin him early because Kyle Nelson isn't really that special on the feet either. So, and he's slow. Like, I don't know. I can't rely on a dude to finish somebody in the first round. You know, if you only got first round in you, I'm not going to trust you to win until you do it multiple times. So I'm going to go with Kyle Nelson knocking out Terrence McKinney in the first 2 rounds. It's going to be more of like an exhausted KO where like McKinney's already gassed and then he'll get like a TKO victory. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's move on to the next one. Monsar Abdul Malik versus Yozuri Bolurai, whatever his name is. Damn, I cannot say that last name to save my life. But it's not that hard. It's just my nose is messing me up. So, but yeah, I don't think Monsar Abdul Malik is that crazy. I did not like his performance against Cody Brundage. I know he finished him technically, not really, but it just, he didn't look that crazy on the feet. And I just think Yuzuri would finish Cody Brundage in a round. I don't feel like it would be that competitive, you know? So I got Yuzuri finishing Monsar Abdul Malik in the first 2 rounds, and that's pretty much it. I don't think Monsar Abdul Malik, whatever his name is, it's that crazy. So for that very reason alone, I'm going to go Yuzuri. So moving on to the next one. Julian Rosa versus Lorian Douglas. I'm going to go with Douglas on this one. Why exactly? He's a former LFA champion, man. They got to mean something sometimes. Not really, but you get what I'm trying to say. Julian Rosa is not that crazy. What I seen of Douglas, though, he does take a while to get going, though, so that might give him some issues. He's like a Cheeto type X style in a way, but like he's just a little bit better, in my opinion, when it comes to being active on the feet. Kind of, though. He throws like 2 more strikes than throwing nothing, pretty much. But he is pretty decent. Nothing that crazy, though. I think he should be Rosa. But But if anybody can move and keep it at distance and throw a bunch of shots and not throw a bunch of feints, but like throw feints, he will kind of crumble a bit. So until he fights that type of fighter, he should beat Rosa, in my opinion. So that's pretty much it. I think he wins. I think he's gonna knock out Rosa in the second round. I think that's how the fight's gonna go. That's pretty much it. And moving on to the next one, Michael Chiesa versus Nico Price. I don't understand why Michael Chiesa gets these easy matchups on his way out, especially like he hasn't fought anybody that's tough. The toughest opponent he fought was Max Griffin. So I don't know what he has over the UFC. Maybe because he has kind of not blackmail, but like I guess they kind of owe him a favor for not suing them after the bus incident. But I don't know. I feel like that's not the best reason. He has to have like dirt on the UFC because usually they feed a guy, at least somebody that's calm. You couldn't give him a Smith, something like that. Like, why are we fighting Nico Price? Like, I don't get it. Michael Chiesa shown that he's still decent enough to win fights. Like, he should get somebody that's kind of dangerous. Like, can we get at least a grappling threat? Maybe a little bit of fear on the feet? Like what does Nico Price have to fear Michael Chiesa? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know what Michael Chiesa has over the UFC, but it has to be more than just the bus incident. So, but I got Michael Chiesa subbing Nico Price in the first 2 rounds. There's no way he doesn't sub Nico Price, especially at the end of his career. And Michael Chiesa is ironically kind of decent. He almost finished Sean Brady, man. People forget about that. So I got Michael Chiesa finishing Nico Price in the first 2 rounds. So moving on to the next one, Alexa Grasso versus Macy Barber. I'm gonna go with Alexa Grasso on this one. I just think she's a little bit clean on the feet. And Macy Barber, I don't know. I feel like she's open for shots. Doesn't really have a dominant grappling game, so I don't have to worry about Grasso getting dominated on the ground. But I did see highlights of their first fight and it was competitive, but Grasso won. So off of that alone, I'm gonna go Grasso beating Macy Barber. And plus, she's a cleaner striker in my opinion. Barber is a little bit better at mixing it up on the feet, but I don't know. I think Grasso's boxing should be enough to beat her. So I'm gonna go Alexa Grasso winning a decision victory here. I could see a finish in the second round, man, but I don't know. WMMA is kind of 50-50. Well, more like 60-40 when it comes to finishes. So, well, the other way around. You get what I'm trying to say here. It's very low outcome when it comes to finishes. So I'm going to go Alexa Grasso beating Macy Barber in a competitive decision victory here. So moving on to the next one, Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer. I'm gonna go with Izzy on this one, man. A lot of people are picking Joe Pyfer. I understand that's KO factor. However, though, I already said this before. I feel like Joe Pyfer is too simple on the feet. I'm sorry. I can't go with the dude that's way too simple for me. Like, Alex Pereira was having struggle to trying to KO Izzy. I'm saying, like, it takes a high-level caliber opponent to KO Izzy. I understand that he's looking a little bit mid when it comes to these strikers that he's been fighting. However, though, Imavov is a way better striker than freaking Joe Pyfer. DDP is also a better striker. Sean Strickland, better striker, better defense. Like, I understand they don't have the same level of pop. However, though, like, what does Pyfer have other than a right hand? Like, I don't get it. Like, I understand it, but at the same time, I'm gonna go Izzy. I feel like he's too clean on the feet, and Pyfer is too inexperienced for me. Like, I understand he fought Jack Hermanson. I'm saying he also fought Jack Hermanson and was losing. Like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go Izzy, either knocking him out in round 4 or winning a decision victory here. I feel like the leg kicks, him moving laterally would be too much for Pyfer. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. And one more thing I want to add, I'm sorry for not posting a lot of content lately. I have been busy at work and I've been coming back like at 12 in the night. So I'm just saying, I haven't had the best schedule when it comes to sleep or being able to make videos. So my bad on that, but I got this one out and I'm not sure I'm gonna make another one until maybe, I don't know, Friday or Saturday. It's gonna be a little bit fun one. It's gonna be about the worst style to fight against if you are a fighter. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and that's it. That's pretty much it. And God bless all of you.